So there's something that's been bothering me as of late. And no, it's not the more traditional, damn it, mosquitoes are back. Yay, spring bullshit. It's shilling, which in and of itself is its own form of bullshit. Now, as previously mentioned, we've made it law on the federal level. I think as far back as maybe 15 years ago, or maybe just a hot 10, maybe 12, I don't know. But we made it so that anybody who does any form of promotion, paid advertisements, or sponsorships information has to mention it and state that they're doing such on social media videos and social media posts and imagery. So that left a lot of leeway for a lot of people to get away with a lot of shit. However, on top of that, in this country, people who represent falsified statements are not liable for the falsified statements they submitted. Now, I know this seems like it was a very big thing in the past, but I mean, it wasn't that fucking long ago. But I'm sure outside of Raid Shadow Legends advertisements, yeah, I feel the same. We all remember, hey, did you know you can become a lord in Ireland based on some old ass rule that doesn't actually exist by buying a piece of land to plant some motherfucking trees? Yeah, this is kind of inspired by that one. So I was having a talk about 2 months ago, maybe 3, with one of our newer affiliates, Jupiter Exile. Shout out to his channel, by the way. Love that news with less noise. But it's really kind of disturbing how much immunity, and that's really what it is, people get. That means that if I give, for example, Hammer, if I give you $500,000 to say, for the low price of $20, you will assassinate anybody who gives you a name and a number and an address. Legally speaking, you may not be liable for that statement. No one else finds that just a little bit fucking weird? Now, don't get me wrong.
Just a bit.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. We live in a country with the First Amendment, as brain dead idiots who go out of their way to restrict stuff, erase shit, or get stuff banned and claim that they don't like their freedoms being fucked with. I know they call them Karens, but they've had so many names. Let's just stick with something more traditional. How about ignorant douchebags?
That works.
Yeah.
Fitting.
Yeah, and here's the thing also. We have laws that relate to the abuse of free speech on the federal level. Listen, even though, unlike other animals, we observe the rule of law, some of us only when it benefits us. But there's also a secondary law. It's a law many men get taught by their mothers and fathers, or many men don't want to acknowledge and don't want to fucking learn when they truly terrify me. And it's the law of nature, which is basically one statement or one sentence. Can you stop me? Or can you stop me from doing what I'm doing? Now, I don't have them all lined up in front of me, but I'm currently almost 200 pounds and I don't look my weight because, well, most of my fat is in my, legs. Not my ass, but like in my legs. Yes, I still got some leftover sumo face from when I was damn near 400 pounds a good 15-ish years ago. But most of me is, in fact, more muscle than fat. Unless we're talking about my legs, then no one really knows. Or rather, I haven't gone into a tank or anything to get it figured out. But here's the thing. I got a weight on top of my refrigerator that I know 70% of the women I've ever known and met cannot move with one arm, and at least 50% of them can't move with two. Imagine if someone like me, a 6 foot trained, I've already said it, I don't need to repeat it because apparently now YouTube's mad at me about it sometimes, who had to, take the life test. Don't ask me what that means if you don't know. Imagine if someone like me, who on average is 3 times stronger and faster then the average woman in this country just said, I'm going to go off the laws of nature instead. Or I'm going to go off the laws of nature when I think I can get away with it. It's still illegal. I don't get immunity just because no one was around to see me do it. If someone can prove in a court of law, any of us or even I've done something with no witnesses, I'm still going to jail like somebody saw me do it. Now, that doesn't matter if it's grabbing someone by the ankle and swinging them across a city street. It doesn't matter if it's literally dunking them into a sewer and keeping their head down till they drown. It's wrong. I get punished. But I've learned some very disturbing things about, well, our system. Well, I won't say I recently learned them, but I didn't learn how deep the rabbit hole goes. And you know how it is. There's a difference between staring at the abyss and knowing that you shouldn't be there versus going inside of it and regretting every second of it. Anything we've done in relation to protections for consumers, protections for civilians, if it inconveniences people who like to spend money, especially on the GOP, but let's not act like they don't fuck with the DNC too. They just want to throw money at anybody they think is in charge, because it's not like the old days when the DNC was completely immune to the corruption of money or close to it, because, you know, it wasn't allowed to be in the DNC, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good job, Clinton. For all the things you fucked up, man, that one's the one that's going to echo in the history. Yeah, a lot of people forget that's actually a recent development. We didn't start off like that. You can screw with people's food, lie on your advertisements for food, cosmetics, and as long as there's no legal, ramifications for it, these companies aren't going to stop. There is an organic cheese company that sold cheese wheels. Guess what 4% of those cheese wheels were? Wood.
What the fuck?
And this went on for years. Now, guess what happened when he got in trouble? Guess what his punishment was? Hammer, you go first.
Slap on the wrist.
Accurate, but, you know, give me something more like contextual.
Slap on the wrist. They took his dessert away and told him that don't do that.
Okay, officer, give it a shot.
A minuscule fine.
Oh, I see you've been talking to your father. Yes. This man in any other country not only would possibly be going to jail and permanently lose his ability to be a CEO, or pay a massive fine and all the above. This man got a $5,000 fine for saving his company close to, I think it was like 5 to 10 million by feeding us wood. Like legitimate wood. Not, oh, this was an accident and we just said fuck it. No, they did it on purpose. They mixed it in the cheese on purpose. It's still organic though. Fucking crazy.
To a certain definition of organic.
A tree is organic. It's just not technically edible in its base state. So that disgusted me. Then when I realized, unlike Raid Shadow Legends, all the advertisements for that, plant a tree, get a lord title shit happened. I looked into it. They disappeared because the main owner of the website, by the way, Vietnamese lady, I believe. I don't want to say Chinese propaganda shit because you can look. I know statistically speaking, sometimes that's true, but it's also a stereotype at the same time. But
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those unusual categories because, well, when you have a Cold War enemy, shit works different. China, as an ethnicity, is not our enemy. The CCP pretends like we're allies. We're fucking not. We all know we're not. But they were getting data. They were finding out all this stuff about people, and they knew from the beginning it wasn't legal. The way to become a lord is through title transference. You don't just become a lord because you bought land from a lord or you own land in a lord's area. In fact, if you own land any place where a lord is and they relinquish it permanently, it's just land. And when she tried to explain it, she fucking didn't. I won't give you the whole thing of what she said because it didn't make any sense. She floundered. Literally, the person who even asked the questions like, did you just try to make sense and fail? So it actually bothers me. And as you know, they got everybody from MatPat to, well, I don't watch Felix, and I'm sure you know him by his other name, which I fucking hate saying. I don't even technically hate him. I just think that name is so stupid for a damn near 40-year-old man to be calling himself, if he's not already in his 40s. I'm genuinely reminded of that old Cedric Entertainer joke where he used to say, I don't hate when people got a names, but I'm not going to call you some stupid ass name. What's good, Cedric? All my homies call me Delicious. What? I'm not calling you Delicious. I'm a grown ass man.
I mean, you could always just call him Bitch Lasagna.
Not sure where that came from, but okay.
That was,
I see what you did there.
Yeah. It was some weird rap he put out a while ago. That Felix dude.
Interesting. And then when you look into what the legal ramifications are, they're completely removed because that segment alone is the one that is immune to pretty much anything. You have to go not to MatPat. You have to go to whatever the name of the company was is doing it. I don't want to give them free press. I tell people look up the CEO because everything about it at least started looking like a fucking idiot.
Yep.
I honestly can't even tell though if she realized it before or after she started getting money off of it, or if she didn't realize it until people started making YouTube videos about, hey, this is pretty fucking stupid. However, the trees do get planted. And another one that terrifies me. I'm sure we've all heard one of the organic statements people use like it's, a roll of tape. All natural. There is no legal definition or jurisdiction for the term all natural within the United States government, within the USDA, and within the FDA. Basically, if you deal with food or chemicals or medicine, there is no legal qualifier for that terminology of all natural. Now think of how many, food and cosmetic products you've heard or seen get associated with that phrase.
Yeah.
And even if they did make a legal definition for it, I don't think these companies are going to get anything outside of, again, a very small fine while they're making hundreds of millions, millions and billions of hundreds of billions of dollars off of a lie like that. There is no disclaimer either that says this statement is not legally verified by the United States government or any government. The way I see it, the only way we can stop this or if we catch this is if we make it more, for lack of a better term, obvious that we need people to pay attention to who gives them money. That's why I have a problem with shilling, and that's really what this is about. Yes, I do acknowledge that a lot of shilling happens based on if someone thinks they can cheat the system. But there's also a new kind of shilling that happens with, faux celebrities, that is the entirety of the social media sphere. But Zach, some of them are actual celebrities. I don't give two fucks. My problem isn't celebrities who are in the social media space. My problem is the faux celebrities, pseudo celebrities, and people who I guess would be considered the equivalent of a D-lister or an E-lister. You know how rankings are with Hollywood. They're all ephemeral 9 times out of 10. Or they're just expendable, superfluous titles. But my problem is that when they fuck up, they can just ignore it. They can block people. They can stop people from commenting. Or they can hide and then come back later and act like nothing happened. And if you ask them a question, even if it's not derogatory, block you or mute you, but they still want attention from you, which is weird. Now, I know I've talked about, in an insulting way, Melanie Mac, because Melanie Mac is a fucking idiot. I don't talk about her because she's an idiot. I talk about her because she's an idiot who keeps inserting herself in shit she proves she does not understand and then lying and presenting this fact. And, well, more derogatorily, it's a Gundam. Because It's a Gundam's whole entire thing is he's pretending he's not what he is. And I've heard the language he uses. And he seems to have told himself, well, if I can't beat him, join him. Or if I can't beat him and I get money from him, let me screw over everybody else. It's basically Candace Owens logic. It's Ben Shapiro logic. It doesn't change. The only difference is they don't have to do it and they're doing it by choice, which is the real fucked up part.
It's a Gundam?
Yes, that's his actual YouTube name. It's fucking weird. It's literally It's a and then Gundam all put together.
Well then.
Huh.
Yeah, you would think someone like that would stay in his lane. Don't get me wrong. If you want to ask questions like I'm doing, you want to speculate and talk about stuff like I'm doing, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's not what he's doing. He's creating offensive troll rhetoric to get himself attention, or specifically to put down people because he hates that they get more attention or money or power or fame than him because they exist to do nothing. Basically, he hates the concept of e-girls. I'm completely fucking indifferent because I'm going to tell you something right now. E-girls existed before they had that nickname. Let's be honest. We all know what that shit is. But I can't wake up and get online and make my entire job let me drag somebody unless I really hate them. And even then, once I drag them, that's it. I'm not going to make a career out of specifically only dragging them. Unless you like, unless I legitimately have a vendetta against you. But here's the thing also. What is YouTube's rules about that stuff? It has to be taken out. You can't do it. Do it too many times, we're going to kick you off the platform. So now I'm like, why is he still here then? Because I can tell you right now, I think I told Officer, you were the first person I told about it. I got an entire video I couldn't use for Gina Carano because I knew exactly everything that was going to happen with her fucking career the minute she started screwing up. And guess what? I was right. She ran her ass back to Disney when she realized, oh, ain't no money in Ben Shapiro world. Her movie tanked immediately.
Yup.
It's too woke. I was like, I love when people just want to say hippie and they don't realize that there doesn't have a fucking definition to it. You're just saying a statement based on you don't like something that offends you because you're insecure about what it's talking about, or it doesn't apply to you, but you feel like you're offended because someone who it also didn't apply to is insecure and offended that other people are getting something that they deserve or earn, like civil rights.
Yo.
And then you call it, whoa, what? You're protesting gun violence. You're woke. Like, no, you're not woke for protesting gun violence. What? You're protesting unfair treatment of the sexist in the workplace. You're woke. Like, no, that's not how that works. The word has no fucking definition. It's a slang term that literally means nothing. It's the equivalent of me saying, Hammer, you know damn well you're a tablespoon. The fuck does that mean?
Yep, buzzwords.
Yeah, they want it to apply, and then and idiots don't realize, bro, they're trying to train you to be directly and indirectly racist. They're trying to train you to have a built-in prejudice to people who want civil rights, same-sex rights, etc., etc., etc. That's why you don't see a hardcore definition. The person who made the book about woke got shitted on for a week, 2 weeks ago, not because she couldn't define the word in an interview, which is true, but because she also said, oh, this is going to be a meme on the internet out loud.
Yep.
That was hilarious.
She said the quiet part out loud.
Melanie Mac, so damn stupid. She's not even popular and famous for political commentary or commenting on anything on the internet. She's famous because she played video games. She was a girl and she was distinct enough to not look like other women. So she was actually recognizable. I can't even say for sure she actually sold out, because last I checked, her whole family has died in the wool conservative GOP fuckboy bullshit. She just didn't say anything about it until someone decided to offer her money about it. Candace Owens is a similar situation. Candace Owens was so blue, she sued her school and won millions of dollars because she proved that her entire fucking school and system was doing nothing about the racist treatment she was receiving. And then, now look at her. 3-4 weeks ago, she tried to make the claim that racism doesn't exist. Black people are just overreacting.
Pile of bullshit.
Yeah, and she's black people are just overreacting. Shilling needs to have federal regulations. It honestly does. Because there are too many people who, unlike the Ben Shapiro's, the Melanie Macs, the fucking Candace Owens of the world, they don't have to put up a disclaimer or nothing. They don't even have to say if they wrote what the words that are coming out of their mouth. And I know for a fact, because as I've told y'all before, on and off for money, or if someone contracts me, I've been a licensed or per video editor for people who get as much as like 30 million views in a month, and sometimes get as little as maybe 1,000. So I've seen what they say when they haven't cut the video. Also, they sometimes say the shit directly to me. They want to say, hi, and I'm barely paraphrasing from an email I have in front of me so they don't figure this out. Hi, I just want to let you know, hey, just so we're clear, we're actually on your side. But you see, well, my audience, they kind of like the Ben Shapiro's of the world. But don't worry, when we get their money, we don't spend it on any of the GOP politicians.
Bullshit.
No, not really, but let me just rephrase what they said. Hi, I just want you to know I'm a shilling sellout, and my entire team knows I'm a shilling sellout. We hate the entirety of the right. We hate the Trump, Tucker Carlson, GOP country boy, good old boy mentality. Just so you know, we don't spend any of our money on them or with them, but we take their money and make them think that they're right. That's what the actual context of the statement was. Here's the weird part. I didn't ask for an explanation. I didn't even know what I was editing until I saw it, which explains why they gave me that disclaimer.
Guess so, yeah.
Imagine if someone had to say, hi, Rupert Murdoch, Fox News, Koch brothers, Andrew Tate paid me or is paying me to market or sell whatever they're marketing and trying to get sold for money and profit. Please understand that just because I edit and manipulate this information to make it look a certain way does not mean that it necessarily is. And then they go and make all their rhetoric shit. They wouldn't be able to make profit in the slightest. Reminder,
Pretty much.
Most journalists that people think are journalists aren't actually journalists. They're reporters. A reporter repeats information, or they repeat a lie. They're only obligated to repeat what they are told to repeat unless they are a reputable business that gets their profit from truth telling. That's why TYT is so popular. It's not because they got an entire generation behind them. It's true. It's because they get their money because they tell the truth. If they don't tell the truth, people pull their funding. That's how it is.
Yep.
Cenk Uygur on record has stated that they lost a sizable portion of people for a long time when they basically outed Obama for fucking up with the drone strikes. Mind you, they didn't say, yeah, he did this on purpose. He purposely wanted to kill innocent people. No, that's the right-winger's job to cherry pick information like that. Obama has done so much good and he continues to do it without being a president. But because he's not a president anymore, people don't look into him anymore. It's actually a real thing. The minute someone stops being a president, after the first 12 months, a lot of people don't look up anything. The Obama Foundation is literally helping people engineer ways to better their environment, their society, or young people. Advocacy. I know because, well, I'm technically a part of the Obama Foundation, but in a weird way. So I've been to the website, I've seen what they do, and I know what they do. They got a whole section devoted to shit that they're actually doing, not things that they say that they're gonna do. Yes, he did. I really want that on a shirt. But yeah, and I feel like until we get proper regulation on shilling and paid rhetoric, a lot of people can't be trusted. Then again, if you trust in Melanie Mac, you already pretty, dumb. Reminder, this is the girl who almost died because she forgot to drink water.
Ha.
Hammer, you got any closing statements?
No, I have to say I honestly 100% agree with you that a lot of companies that make their money off of technically the truth definitely need to be brought up on regulations.
Yeah. How about you, officer?
Well, I agree. The use of this is technically true. Yeah, that's a little bullshit. At the very least, Fox News is being caught with their pants down after some crazy bullshit that they pulled that was, well, let's just call it utterly brazen and unapologetic.
Yeah, they've been in an entire lawsuit with I forgot the company's name, but the company that made most of the voting machines, because they literally lied for like months straight about the voting machines. And then
Yup.
when they realized, oh shit, it'll cost over $1 billion. And also, he was barely profitable for almost a flat 15 to 20 years because, well, you're a news show on a network where the other shows and also, TYT has spent years, including Jon Stewart, so decades really, basically proving you basically try to get money via fear mongering and lying to old people.
Yep.
Fox News needs to come on after Blue Bloods, as far as I'm concerned.
At least they're being taken to task over it.
In more ways than one. But yeah, that's how I feel. Hammer and Officer, welcome to the 2 cent aisle.